Great. So we've got our flyer coming on nicely. I've taken off my terrible marketing nonsense and I've put imprint as a label back onto the imprint. But you can't say this is looking polished yet. This is not a polished layout for a flyer. So we are going to move on now to preparing some styling for our imprint here. So let's have this back in on two separate lines, because what I've got in my mind's eye is that we're going to have a really nice, elegant label that says the word imprint, and then underneath it is the name of the imprint. So I need to figure out a way to make that happen. And the way we do that is by going to text styles on export templates. So as you know, you can have more than one tab of Consonance open at any one time. So I've gone to export templates, I've got my options here, and I'm right mousing and opening a link in a new tab, and that opens text styles on another tab. So this is a list of the styles that are available to you to use on any and all of your marketing materials. Now you may not have as many as me, you might have more, but these are all entirely defined by you for the company. Anyone can use them within your team, and it's a way for you to be able to bring a bit of consistency across marketing materials emitted from Consonance at least. So I've got something that looks a bit plausible here actually. It's a subheading. Over on the right here we have a preview, and so I can see that it's all lowercase. It's a nice-ish colour, but it's not quite right. This one is getting closer to the sort of thing I have in mind. But let's create a brand new text style and define exactly what I want. So I click the Add Text Style button. It's very hard to say, Add Text Style. And that's created this text style 12 at the top of the page. These are the defaults. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to give it something like subheading. Oh, I've been here before. Subheading. And that's going to be in the font of, let's have a think, maybe something elegant. Montserrat is a nice sans serif font, and you can see as I make changes, the preview is updating. So it's another one of those situations of, just keep iterating, keep having a go, changing it, see what works for you. Colour wise, I want to go elegant. I want to be some sort of golden browny something or other. So I'll go about there, and you can see my date picker working hard on my behalf. I'm going to save that. It looks a little bit pale. I'm going to save it, and the reason why is that we have a contrast checker here. Now I think this is going to fail contrast checking, but let's see, shall we? So I press save. Oh yeah, sure enough, look at that. It has definitely failed contrast checking. So these are the standards that all good web developers should adhere to. And I see no reason why you shouldn't be able to adhere to them on your PDFs that you're sending out to your treasured contacts and customers, to make sure that they can read the important information that you're sending out about your works. So I do not want to have a barely legible bit of text on my marketing materials, thank you. No, I am going to change that colour until it satisfies the WCAG AAA contrast check for this font size against a white background. So iterate. I'll still keep it vaguely goldy, pretty gold colour, not green. That was too green. That's more like it. Save that. See how that does. That's much better. 7.69 to 1 is a much better contrast colour, so that's great. Let's look at the other options. So the next one along we have is style. We've got the options of normal or bold. Well, I'm going to go bold because this is a bit of a header. Sometimes you don't want to be too, actually no, that doesn't look good. I'm going to change it back to normal. You don't necessarily want to conflate order in the hierarchy with largeness of label. Let the hierarchy do the talking. So font size is too small at the moment. I'm going to up that to 11 points. And this is like in any other word processing program, 11 point, 12 point, this sort of thing. Leading is the difference between line height on separate lines. I don't think that's going to affect us on this. The word imprint is not going to wrap along a line. Character spacing though, it always brings elegance in my opinion. A little bit of character spacing for a header font just gives it that bit of breathing room. Don't mind that at all. Alignment wise, you've got 3 options: left, right and centre. I'm going to leave it left aligned for the moment. But then this next one is possibly one of the most interesting, and this is a transform. And you can see it says itself. So really that means it's not going to do anything. It's just going to present the text exactly as you, the paying customer, have entered it. So if you were using this to style an E.E. Cummings poem, the authorship thereof, and you were very, very certain that you didn't want any computer to start capitalising or uppercasing any of the author's name, then say explicitly, I just want it to be whatever it is itself, and that will honour your data integrity. But there are other options we can do. You can upcase the first character. You can titleize, which is to capitalise each letter. You can uppercase the whole thing. You can humanise it, which is to say Consonance is going to do its best to turn any string into something that's human readable. You can capitalise the first character in the string, or you can downcase the whole lot. So there's lots of options here. I am going to choose upcase because I want every single letter in the string to be uppercase. And that is nice. That's a nice looking header. So let's go back to our PDF now and see what this looks like. Remember, we're going to be applying the subheading style name that we've called it ourselves. So back to our page here. We were looking at our PDF on this tab, and I'm going to go to imprint, edit again, and this time now I'm going to change the heading style. And so the drop down here is going to contain all of the styles I've previously added. Here is our most recent one called subheading, and you can see there's a bit of a summary of what we did. So this is the 11.1 Montserrat, 1 character spacing, and it's all upcase. So we hit save there. And remember, we're looking for the word imprint because this is the styling for that heading. So let's have a look. And yeah, you see, design is tricky because that's too big. That's too chunky. It's domineering the space. It's not doing what I wanted at all. So of course, we go back, we edit, we refine. We think, well, actually, the font size is far too big. I'm going to knock it down to 9. Let's check that my contrast still works at that level. That's fine. And what else do we want to do? Maybe that will be the secret sauce. Go back to the other tab, refresh the page. Let's have a look. Have I achieved the elegance I desire? Oh yes, you see, that's great. That's nice. Imprint, slightly different colour. You see, just a bit of gold to give it a sense of premiumness, and then the content underneath. So yes, so I have applied a style there to the heading. Let me click on edit just to check that you followed that. That's the heading style. There's a separate one for content style. So at the moment that's set to default text. Content is the actual words feline press. That's the content. The heading is the word imprint, and we have control over that there. Let's apply one of our other, just randomly for a minute. I mean, this is 16 points, so it's going to be huge, but let's just have a look to see what that looks like. Just so that I can show you that you can change the content in the headings separately. You can apply separate styles there. So there you go. I mean, it's a look, isn't it? you could absolutely go with that, and that's actually rather elegant. A little subtle label there, and then the content doing all of the heavy lifting. So that's how we are. I might just leave that for a minute. That's how we are making these changes to the different elements that we're putting on the page. So let's just have a look at our instructions to see how we're getting on. We've changed that imprint label, we've defined the style, we have applied the style. And as I say here, you know, that's kind of the fundamental building blocks again of styling. But I thought at this point I would sort of share some of the tricks that I think are important when you're laying out a piece of marketing material. I mean, I think that you will know far better than me how to design things to sell books, and this is one of the joys of publishing. There's no one right way. We all use our best knowledge and experience to bring to bear a compelling message to our audiences. But here, for what it's worth, are some of my sentiments. And rule number 1 is to line things up. I always feel that if you have content, headers, covers lined up, it brings a sense of order, potentially to chaos. I mean, bearing in mind on a thing like this, you've got a lot of moving parts. You've got data that is variable. I mean, we'll come to why there's overflow here, but there's variable data. There are different cover sizes, different aspect ratios. If you line things up, that is something that you can control, and I feel like it's a surefire way to start to show the grid, really, the grid that we looked at earlier. Show the pattern that we're interested in. White space we've been looking at by adding in white space above and below. I would say that it's a good idea to start with more white space than you need, and then bring it tighter. It's actually really hard to start with a very tight layout and to be able to see where we should give some more breathing room. So I like to start with a lot of space and then tighten up rather than the other way around. I mentioned this when we were doing our imprint label here. The next point is to use font weight for emphasis rather than font size. So we've styled our imprint label there, and you know, we've capitalised it and we've given it a fairly strong colour, and we could toy with making it bold as well. Let's just make it bold and see what that looks like. And so what we've done there is use all of the styling possibilities at our disposal rather than just relying on size. So that's a header, and certain school of thought suggests that a header should be bigger than the content. Well, I mean, that looks nice. I like that. Yeah. But here, patently, the content is larger than what is ostensibly higher up in the data hierarchy. But so don't get confused between the data hierarchy and what size things should be on the page. And then I would say use colour sparingly. We have this absolute gift of cover designs in our industry, don't we? Let the product do the talking, and don't get garish with your colours of your text. The most important thing with text is that it's readable, and so focus on that colour contrast rather than trying to communicate something in colour with text. It's just not, well, it's not appropriate most of the time. And we have these, I mean, these are not incredible cover designs, but these are the aspects of your marketing materials that can be doing the talking. They're the bits that you really want to jump out. So, you know, we've used colour subtly. We have, and it's certainly not monochrome, but we're not heavily applying colour when there are other more interesting things to look at. So that's a start on some of the styling information. We're going to go to a break now, so I'll see you back here afterwards. I've left you some homework on the next bit, which you can read through, to start to apply some of these interesting things that we've learnt to your own layouts here. But if you've got a busy lunchtime ahead of you, don't worry. You'll be able to add some of this learning when you're back at your desk another day. But if you do have a bit of time, here's some ideas that you can do, and we'll be around on Zoom to see how you're doing, answer any specific questions. So thanks very much. I will stop the video now. See you after lunch.